our children. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin.
Hey everyone, and happy Halloween. Today is actually very fitting for me to talk about some certain movie news that I feel like has been long overdue, and it is regarding the report that a certain horror movie that I actually have enjoyed and watched over and over again just because I love it so much is getting a remake, and it is The Others that came out in 2001 and stars Nicole Kidman. Now, I feel like the one question I have, and as well as many others who are, fans of the movie, are probably asking themselves, why is this necessary to remake an already seemingly perfect movie? I mean, I ended up reviewing this movie probably a couple of years ago, and you guys could definitely check out my review of it and let me know what you guys think. My initial reaction to hearing about this news was like, really? I just don't think it's necessary at all. Like, we don't need to see this. Like, why are they even bothering to waste money on making yet another movie? Now, I know a lot of horror movies are being remade nowadays, and they're actually not panning out how I, expected they would. And I feel like that's what makes the classics stay classics. And I feel like this movie would be a mistake to make, to be honest. The original one ended up making around $200 million on a $17 million budget. So I'm thinking, what could they possibly do to up the ante in this movie? This original initial news was reported back in April, and then until the trades started reporting on it, that's when it gained more traction. So I'm kind of shocked that, there was a gap that, nobody was talking about it. And I feel like they only started talking about it until it hit October because, of course, this is horror month. I feel like the one thing about this movie is that it is too soon to have a reboot because it's been 19 years since the first movie came out, since the original came out, that, they would have to figure out how to change the story and not have a repeat of, the twist in the movie. Now, I'm not going to give it away for those who have seen the movie or who haven't seen the movie, but I feel like it's one that still, I still remember it, and I feel like even though I have seen the movie a million times, I know when, certain things are going to happen, but I still feel like the movie itself is, still pretty terrifying and suspenseful, and it has good acting. And of course, I don't know who they could find to be a better lead than Nicole Kidman, who is the mother to these two kids, and they can't, be in any light, and their house is in full darkness pretty much all the time. And of course, it is such a beautiful location. So there are so many elements to this movie that I feel like if they tried to change any single bit of it, I would be completely disappointed with the outcome. I feel like going off of that, to have this trend of these authentic type of horror movies, we've seen this trend in the, haunted house type of movie, but also in shows or series like The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is now on Netflix, and also its predecessor, The Haunting of Hill House. And I think those shows really pulled off the horror aspect like the movie The Others did. That, I mean, if you really want to see a movie succeed in that similar aspect, I mean, they'd really have to figure it out. Now, I'm not too familiar with who is potentially going to be behind the camera. We've got the producer of the FX series, Betty and Joan. I just feel like, okay, are they gonna try to turn this into some kind of dramatic comedy or something? I mean, I'd like to see a director that actually knows horror to be behind the camera and, handle this type of story. And I just personally hope that nothing else about this movie gets ruined. So it kind of makes me nervous, because if they want to handle the haunted house aspect, the ghost story aspect, and even the family aspect of the movie, they're really going to have to figure things out. Whatever they try to do for this new movie, I feel like I'm already gonna go in not exactly loving it, and I really hope that they don't add any crazy CGI villains in this movie and actually make it look completely, grounded in reality and authentic and dark and just, a really beautiful and dramatic movie, but maybe, adding things. Maybe they'll even make it a modern type of movie, because the original movie was set in the 40s. So if they do it sort of within a modern time period, like, in the, 2000s, I think we could really, see something different with how they approach making this new interpretation. Like, I'm not going to feel super excited about anything just yet until I hear director and casting news. I feel like that's probably the only deal breaker for me, and then maybe possibly a trailer. So we'll see how it goes. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of having the others get remade, and were you fans of the original? And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys later.